material, his vision of it is so good because he's a genius that he imbues that material with a quality that makes you come away exhilarated because you've been in the presence of fulfilling art rather than just a depressing experience.
When people think of the archetypal Bergman shot, they think of a lingering close-up. What was it about his use of the close-up that enabled him to get right inside the heads of his characters?
If you're Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton making a film and you've got a runaway train or cowboy movie with 1,000 cows stampeding, or gangster movies where people are shooting guns and running and diving behind crates, that's one thing. But when the conflict is in one person, within one person, where that person is tortured as to whether they can express their feelings to another person, and you've got to, and these conflicts are just as dramatic and just as high intensity as all the others I've mentioned, but they're not as visual. They don't lend themselves to the same visual treatment. Instinctively, he developed a filmic vocabulary to express all these inner states of anxiety in a way that made them kinetic for the viewer.
I remember very clearly in the early 1970s going to see Love and Death and then being led by it to go and seek out The Seventh Seal. Do you think that your films have led audiences to Bergman's work?
Bergman was a titan before I came on the scene, and my films, I just can't imagine, maybe one out of a zillion people, but I can't imagine it having any significant or even remotely significant impact on people seeing his films. I think that I have had some impact in that I was in New York City a very, very early devotee of Bergman's. I latched onto him in a very, very passionate way.
What about on a personal level? Have you met Bergman and what was he like?
He's like every other good filmmaker I spoke to. He speaks about, in regular street terms, of workman's terms, of working on films and the problems he has and the problems with the audiences and the producers and the difficulties and the grosses and why it doesn't do well here and does well someplace else, and his problem in shooting something, and the same conversation that I've had with other film directors or that I would have with somebody. I mean, it was not suddenly, going to visit Fu Manchu and a gong is rung and somebody comes out in a black robe and you discuss these profound, silent movies about inability of people to communicate or find meaning in life. It's not that at all. He's, very lively, charming, vital person.
People think of Bergman's films as being about death and angst, but there are comic films such as Smiles of a Summer Night. Did that interest you?
If I want comedy, I can find better many places. Even Smiles of a Summer Night, his so-called comic masterpiece film, is a very charming film and has a warmth to it, but it's not my favorite of his films.
Låt bli att gå sådär.
Vad menar du, unga hen?
Det jag säger, låt bli att gå på det där sättet.
Hur då?
Petra svänger ju med stjärten.
Ja, så gör jag. Titta, det gör jag. Så lustigt.
What I favor about Bergman is the bleak, deep, dark abysses that he traveled in with his films, the bleak landscapes and the dark themes. And there's where I think he really made his reputation and made history.
Vad ska jag föreställa?
Det är dödsdansen.
Där är döden.
Ja, han dansar iväg med dem allihop.
Varför håller du på med sådana kladderier?
Ja, jag tänkte man skulle påminna folk om det faktum att de ska dö.
Jag blir inte gladare av.
The Film Four season has an overview of Bergman's entire career. For a novice coming to Bergman for the first time, which ones should a viewer seek out and why?
I would pick out The Seventh Seal and Wild Strawberries and Cries and Whispers for sure, those three for sure. And if I was picking a fourth one, they'd probably like The Magician.
Mitt herrskap, vi tackar för ett bifall och vi hoppas på att små konststycken verkligen behagar er.
I've spoken to people that saw The Magician years ago and had no idea what the picture was representing, none whatsoever. And they would say to me, you know, oh, well, I don't know what it was. I think he was just having a good time, but gosh, it was so gripping. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat.
And finally, if you had to pick one, what is it?
Oh, The Seventh Seal.
It's your favourite.
The Seventh Seal, yes. I think The Seventh Seal would be on my list of 10 best movies of all time, you know, from all directors.
Woody Allen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jag har glömt hur pjäserna stod.
Men jag har inte glömt.